Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. Happy Friday. I hope you've been having a really beautiful week so far. And in today's video, we are doing a collective reading and energy update. I channel these collective readings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for each of these readings, there is an extended version as well. So if at any point during this reading, you are feeling guided to check out the extended version of the reading, the link to listen either from YouTube memberships or on Patreon is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. And when you sign up for a membership on either platform, you get access to 3 exclusive extended readings just for members every single week. So I'm going to go ahead and start by shuffling the energy oracle cards. And I also want to let you know while I'm shuffling that I have just released a brand new subliminal on my Subliminals app, Sound and Soulful. And the name of this subliminal is Quantum Shift. This one has been a long time in the making, and I've been referencing this in past videos for a while, that this was something I was going to be working on and adding. And the reason I love this subliminal is I have created it so that it works with your own subconscious mind uniquely, meaning it doesn't matter what gender you are, it doesn't matter what desires you hold, it doesn't matter how you personally define success, wealth, abundance, fulfillment, all of those things. It actually works with your own unique blueprint, your own unique desires to help you literally take a quantum leap in consciousness into those desired manifestations, whatever that looks like for you personally. So it's a really beautiful way to literally reprogram your subconscious mind to shift into your dream life. It's also a very comprehensive subliminal. So there are 99 affirmations, and they are targeted to all different areas of life. So your sense of physical stability, your appearance, your fulfillment and happiness in life, the way you interact with others, and really every aspect and area of fulfillment in your life. So I'm really excited for those of you who are members on the Sound and Soulful app to check out this new subliminal. You can find it in the Manifestation Magic category, or you can search it yourself using the All Audios tab at the bottom of the app. This is like a search feature that allows you to search the whole library of subliminals. And again, the name of it is Quantum Shift. So check it out, try it for yourself. Let me know what you think. And if you don't yet have the app and you'd like to try it with a 7-day free trial, then I will leave a link to download the app in the description box underneath this video. I really just wanted to share that with you because I know so many of us are quantum shifting into higher vibrational timelines and realities right now. So I really wanted to create a tool to support you in your daily life in real time through all of those shifts. So yeah, let's go ahead and shuffle and see what wants to come through the reading. So what can I channel for all of the beautiful souls tuned into today's reading video? Walking away. I'm hearing you have fully walked away from something. Now, for some of you, this could be a person. This could be a relationship that you walked away from, a friendship, some kind of connection in your life. This also could be an aspect of yourself. And actually what I'm picking up on is, regardless of whether what you walked away from is a person, a relationship, an environment, a job, whatever it is, it actually is connected to something internal that you've walked away from. So even if it has that external component, there is still some internal part of yourself that you have fully shifted out of. I'm hearing it's no longer part of your identity anymore. So it's almost like this thing, this person, this relationship, this job, whatever it was connected to some internal aspect of you that you've healed or shifted in some way. So I'm really curious to actually get some details on that. So What is this internal aspect of you that you've shifted? Oh, a card just came flying out. Okay, we have the Two of Swords. So the internal aspect of you seems to be, well, really what I'm getting here is a bit of a complex energy. So let me do my best to explain it. But what I'm picking up is, for a while, you felt like you had one foot in two different worlds. So you may have been kind of still trying to upkeep some kind of appearance of being an old version of yourself, or maybe you were trying to upkeep certain relationships or connections that were connected to that old version of you, or you were still tapped into some kind of old world, a past timeline, a past version of yourself. But at the same time, you've been evolving into this new version of you, into this next chapter. And all of that has been unfolding as well. So I feel that for a while, you were at this kind of internal stalemate. There was almost a tug of war taking place where a part of you was still trying to express or live or kind of operate in that old world or as that old version of yourself. But you knew, on the other hand, that you were expanding into a brand new place that was more authentic to you, that was more actually aligned with your core desires. I keep getting that there's something about this new version of you that many people around you may not fully understand. They may not understand this person that you are expanding into, which is actually a clearer representative of who you really are at the core. But I feel that the reason you were feeling this stalemate is there was a part of you feeling like you had to keep up these appearances for others, almost like you had to maintain some semblance of normalcy or what your old normal used to look like, so as to not ruffle anyone's feathers, so to speak, so as to not disrupt anyone who kind of still saw you through that old lens. But I feel like you fully, I don't even want to say that you've shut the door to that part of yourself, because that's not really what I'm not quite getting the shutting the door to the part of yourself. I'm getting you healed some part of yourself. So it's like you've actually come into expressing more of who you really are. If anything, you've been opening doors within yourself that you've never opened before, and you're expressing more as the fullest version of yourself. Like if you energetically are a house, you're actually swinging open all of the doors internally and expressing all of these different aspects of you, some of which may have been buried or boarded up for a long time, in some cases because of some kind of past trauma you experienced where you thought you had to board up that room that held that aspect of yourself because it didn't feel safe to express that. But I feel like you've created so much of a sense of safety within yourself and within your world. And I'm getting the word peace in connection with this as well, like you coming into deeper levels of inner peace have allowed you to feel safe enough to open all of those doors of expression internally and live as this fullest version of yourself. But in the process, you've healed this part of you that used to seek out this validation from other people, that involved you needing to put on some kind of an appearance or a facade to make other people feel more comfortable or to appease them in some kind of way. And you're no longer sacrificing the expression of parts of yourself to appease others. And so there is this natural shifting away or walking away taking place, but that's only happening because you're coming home to yourself in a bigger way. So let's go ahead and keep shuffling here, because I am really curious to know. First, let's pull a card for what you're walking away from, and then another card for what you're walking towards. So we have the yin yang card. We have blossoming abundance in the reverse position. Contract. Personal healing and happiness in the upright position. Okay, so I know I said I was only going to pull 2 cards, but I really felt all 4 of these cards wanting to come out as clarifiers. So I'm going to pull all of this together into a message. But what I'm getting very strongly is, well, for someone, I heard that a very high level soul contract has completed itself. Something has completed itself, and now things are open for negotiation or to be redefined. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when an actor or an actress, or probably this is the same for musicians in contracts as well, but when they fulfill some kind of contract that they have with a company or a record label or whatever, and because they fulfilled the terms of that contract, they now can renegotiate. So they can renegotiate, like if they're an actor, an actress, their salary, their terms, their rates, all of these things. Terms of connection are what I'm picking up on here. And what I'm getting, and I have to say for some of you, this was a twin flame contract, if not a twin flame, a very high level soulmate. So I'm getting that for many of you listening, you were dealing with a very powerful soul connection that has been connecting with you for a while, that brought a lot of emotional pain and turmoil into your life, but also activated you in the most profound ways, in ways that you never imagined possible. I feel like this is someone who literally woke you up spiritually and launched you onto this entire beautiful journey of spirituality, of discovering more of your true self, of loving and embracing yourself on a deeper level. But all of that growth came with a lot of growing pains as well on both sides. But what I'm getting is this connection has balanced itself out energetically because you've come back home to self-love and you've balanced yourself internally. And so that phase of the contract has fulfilled itself. That's not to say that the bond has disappeared, because not only is the bond very much still there, but you're feeling it in a way that is stronger and clearer than ever, but it's no longer obsessive. The bond now is like this steady warmth and this balanced energy that's flowing between your two souls. I know I won't be speaking to everyone here, so only take this if this is really connecting with your intuition. But what I'm getting is, because this phase of your contract has been fulfilled, things are up for renegotiation. So you can now set the terms of connection in the physical, meaning, yes, this connection is still there. It will always be present energetically. You will always be supporting each other on a soul level, but now you get to decide what this connection is going to look like in your life moving forward. How you're going to be physically connecting or interacting with this person. If you're going to have a physical component to your connection at all, because for some of you, you may be ready to move forward in the physical with someone else romantically or in whatever case. For others of you, you may still desire to be with this person romantically, but under new terms, like under a new contract or agreement, so to speak, physically. And I just keep picking up that you have the ability to define the terms of what this connection is going to look like in the physical moving forward, because the initial contract has completed itself. And if this message is for you, you felt the shift when this contract completed itself, because the thoughts and feelings went from being like heavy and obsessive to being light and free and balanced and harmonious. There was like a shift in how you experienced this person or this connection, because that contract did complete itself. Now, I know that that was just speaking to a small group of people, so of course, use your intuition. Only take that if it connects. But what I am getting very strongly with blossoming abundance reversed and door to personal healing and happiness in the upright position, that one thing you are shifting out of or away from is this, I'm hearing something being constantly uprooted. Maybe in the past, you felt as though you would start to go down a certain direction, and then you would change your mind or kind of like uproot those plans or the seed of that vision because something didn't quite feel right, or maybe because fear came into the picture, or whatever the case was. Or maybe you felt forcibly uprooted from your own goals, dreams, or visions. You felt sabotaged in some way. But what I'm getting is you're shifting into an era where your visions are going to be materializing, where there is this stable growth that is taking place in your life, this upward trajectory that doesn't get disrupted, that doesn't feel as though you're being blocked or sabotaged. And I'm getting that whole time you felt you were being blocked or sabotaged, you were actually being kept in a very particular position so that you could internally heal and balance yourself. And you did that inner work. If this reading is for you, you've completed that phase. That was, in essence, the contract that you fulfilled within yourself. Even if for some of you listening, that contract didn't really seem to resonate with connecting to a specific physical other person in your life, even still, you completed an internal contract with yourself by fulfilling this inner healing journey, by undergoing this journey of self-love. And during that time, again, you may have felt perpetually uprooted or disrupted or sabotaged, but that phase is over. You're shifting into this era where things are going to continue unfolding in peace and harmony. And you're going to learn that you can trust in that unfoldment, that you can trust that process of your dreams and visions materializing into physical reality. In fact, I'm hearing that so much of your work at this point is simply to create the space in your nervous system to hold the manifestation of all of the beautiful blessings that are coming into your life, the materializations of manifestations you've been waiting for, that you've been desiring for such a long time. Your only work is to create the energetic environment within yourself of peace, of harmony, of self-love, of abundance mentality internally, of that stability internally, to be able to sustain and support the continued flow of massive blessings into your life. A white bird may be a symbolism for someone, but I also see this as being just like the biblical story of Noah and the ark. I see it representing peace after a storm. And I feel that if this reading is for you, you are someone who's been in a lot of storms, but this is your era of peace. And you are going to feel, and most likely if this is for you, you've been feeling this twinge of anxiety from time to time within yourself, almost like a sort of post-traumatic stress reaction, which may be literal for some of you, but energetic or metaphoric for others of you, where it's like you're having this aftershock reaction or feeling or bracing for something to go wrong or bracing for the fall, so to speak. But there is no fall. Nothing is going to go wrong. It's almost like so much of your work right now is reminding yourself of that, reminding yourself that you are so worthy of all of the peace and happiness and fulfillment and success and abundance flowing into your life, recognition flowing into your life, love, and that there is no other shoe to drop, that nothing is going to go wrong here, that this is your era of peace, that the storm has passed. I feel like there's something about reminding yourself of that on a continual daily basis, especially when you find the echoes of those old fears resurfacing within your mind. So I'm going to go ahead and reshuffle here and channel through some more messages. And it's funny because while I was shuffling, I realized I dropped a card on the floor that I just found. And it is the garden and the gate in the reverse position. Now, the message I got from this card is in this next phase that you're moving into, you are so protected that you no longer have to be as protective. So what I'm getting from that is there is this natural aura of divine protection around you. And again, this is such an era of peace and harmony for you because you've developed that peace within yourself internally. I'm hearing that on a very deep level, you've come to peace with yourself. Maybe for some of you listening, that is coming to peace with your physical body and learning to embrace and love and nourish your body properly. For others of you, this could be embracing aspects of yourself dreams that you may have forgotten about, parts of yourself that you are really uncovering and learning to express, almost like when you were a child. There's like an inner child healing at play here as well, where the things that you may have loved to do or to embody or explore as a child, you are now reintegrating back into your adult life. But what I'm getting is, because this era is so secure and so peaceful and assured for you and harmonious for you, you no longer have to brace, like to be so much on the defense, so to speak. But I'm also picking up that because you're no longer bracing for things, like being defensive, all of those things, because you're just living in this peaceful, I'm hearing unbothered energy, there are people who are inherently going to be triggered by that because they cannot trigger you, because they cannot connect with you through chaos or through conflict, because your energy doesn't make you available for that. So there are actually going to be people who are triggered simply by your peace. But I do get the sense that you are unbothered by that you just feel apathy towards that because you no longer feel any kind of energetic alignment to that kind of chaos or drama energy. It's like you're aware of it like a passive observer, but you don't feel any need to engage with it or connect with it on its level. So let's go ahead now and see if any other messages want to come through from the traditional tarot. So what else can I channel for anyone listening to this reading? I saw a book, specifically a book with a red cover. Maybe that's significant for someone, or there's something about the color red. Someone here could be a writer, or you could be completing some kind of meaningful project. I'm hearing grounding it into creation. Red can resonate with the soul, or not the solar plexus, the root chakra. And the root chakra is all about what we are grounding into creation, what is stabilizing for us, what is manifested in the physical world. So you could be stabilizing some kind of creation that's been a long time in the making. Now, with the Hanged Man in the reverse position, can I get any more information on this? I'm feeling that this may be an external energy. Yeah, this has to be, because now we have the Two of Pentacles reversed. This is a chaos energy. This is like an imbalanced kind of energy. Yeah, with the Eight of Cups, and one that I feel you've left behind or walked away from because it was only bringing chaos into your life. I'm hearing stuck in the mud. I don't know why that's coming up here. Maybe this is an energy that kind of likes to wallow in lower vibrations without necessarily doing anything to actively better themselves or work on themselves or solve the problem or situation. I'm hearing they feed off of chaos, even their own. So this won't be for everyone, but if this reading is for you, or I should say if this particular message is for you, because the reading generally could be for you, but this specific message may not relate necessarily to everyone. But if this message is for you, then this is an energy that tends to bring drama and chaos into your life that, again, you've just walked away from. I'm also getting the King of Cups reversed, so it feels like an emotionally turbulent energy, one that is untrustworthy because you can tell that this person is not connected to their own heart and their own emotions right now, and you can see that or feel that in their energy. So the thing about this person is, when I say they are manipulative, this doesn't have to mean that they are malicious. What I mean is they are manipulating appearances that don't match energy. So you're reading energy, you're picking up on the energy beneath the surface, that this person is disconnected from their heart, that they're in a chaotic state, that they're stagnant but refusing to do anything to better themselves. And yet this person is trying to present something very different on the surface. And then when you don't buy into that surface level appearance because you're reading the energy and you know that the energy is telling you something different, it's almost like this person gets frustrated because they feel like they are showing you all the right things on the surface, but you know it's a manipulation because you know that that surface level thing is very different from what you're picking up on energetically. And the beautiful thing about this is if we take this to a broader perspective, I feel as though you are coming into this phase of your life where you are becoming much more confident in spiritual gifts, psychic gifts, abilities that you've always had subconsciously, but in the past that you may not have fully understood or even gaslit yourself out of. So what I mean by this is when someone like this is entering your life or in your life who is bringing you a lot of chaos that you're reading clearly this energy from, that they're disconnected from their heart, that they're in this chaos state, when you're picking up on that energy, but the appearance is showing you something different, I feel like you're no longer gaslighting yourself out of believing what you're sensing energetically. You don't have to necessarily wait for physical confirmation to protect your own energy and to protect your own peace. And I'm getting, though, with this person, it's actually even been confirmed to you, or it will be, but I do feel there's like this recurring pattern that has been confirmed to you. So most likely you've actually seen this pattern play out with this person before, where they try to get you to believe the appearance over the energy, but then the energy wins out and you receive confirmation that you were reading their energy correctly. In fact, I'm getting that when it comes to this person, well, in general, you are almost like this truth serum where even people who are the best at manipulating appearances, who are so good at hiding what's happening energetically, have to reveal their true self to you eventually, and really sooner rather than later. It usually happens fairly quickly because something about your energy is like a truth serum. It brings out the truth within others, and this is actually a spiritual gift in and of itself. The reason that you bring out the truth in others is because you are so connected to the energy of truth yourself that you are emanating this frequency of truth and authenticity that is very illuminating to anything that is not a truth, that is not connected with the energy of truth. It's like it sets up a starker contrast because you are emanating such a clear, truthful, open, authentic energy that anything that is trying to hide, to deceive, to manipulate, to not fully be truthful and authentic, even to themselves internally, is going to be surfaced in a very strong way in your presence. This is what happens also when you are someone who walks around with a very open heart the way that you do. People think at times, without knowing you, that you being so open-hearted is a weakness or a vulnerability, but it's actually a superpower. It protects you because when you live in such an open-hearted manner, it is truth serum to people and situations. They cannot help but reveal their true self to you. This is often why you will meet or connect with people and they will say, I can't believe I just told you that story or that thing about myself, or that I confessed to that or admitted that to you, because I never say that to anyone. Like, people walk away from conversations with you and they replay those conversations and think, why did I tell them so much? Why did I open up so much about something I never share with anyone? And by the way, this is also sometimes a cause for people ghosting you or disconnecting from you, because the other side of this two-edged sword, in a way, is that sometimes the truth that surfaces in your presence within other people, they are not yet ready to consciously face within themselves. So they will get really in their head or embarrassed, or they'll start replaying the truth that surfaced around you. And rather than allowing that truth to surface and embracing it and feeling relieved that that truth is on the surface, that they can now live more authentically, if they aren't ready to live more authentically, then they are going to try and shove that truth back down, which again, they cannot do in your presence. So they may disconnect from the truth surfacer, being you, instead of facing the truth that is surfacing. So that is just a bit of an aside for someone, but I feel that for some of you listening, you have experienced this pattern where you surface a truth in someone or in a group or in an environment, a job, a community, and it almost like rejects you or pushes you out because it is not ready to see that truth internally. For some of you, I'm getting this may happen in like a community, an environment, a workplace, or you may have experienced this in the past where your presence was the catalyst for pushing a truth to the surface about some kind of environment or family system or group or whatever it was. And that group think didn't want to consciously acknowledge the truth that you were bringing to the surface. So it pushed you out or rejected you in some kind of sense instead. So I do have the Ace of Wands here. So I know that there have been somewhat intense messages coming up here, but this is a really beautiful card. There is Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries energy here. Last night, by the way, I wasn't even going to bring this up in a reading, but since we're getting that Aries sign, I will say it. I had a dream, and in this dream, I saw the sign of Aries and then the state of Kentucky in the United States. I don't know if this connects for anyone, maybe either the sign or the state or both connect for someone, but I saw those different signs in my dream. So I may do some kind of additional reading outside of our regular posting schedule to dive into that energy that was trying to make its way through my dream state, because there may be some kind of message that was trying to come through for someone. Let me know in the comments if that could relate for you and you'd like to hear that message. That was a bit random, but with the Ace of Wands, some kind of massive breakthrough, surge of creativity. Some of you may notice yourselves starting to feel very creative, but I'm hearing in a sustained way, not in a way where you're like pushing out a bunch of creativity and then burning out, but in a very consistent, sustained, sort of harmonious way. And I'm hearing adhere to your own creative rhythm. So for some of you listening, if you are doing anything like starting a career path or building a business or even just functioning in your day-to-day life, and at times you've felt overwhelmed in the past because you've had these massive bursts of energy followed by periods of time where you needed deep rest to integrate. What you're going to notice increasingly is you are learning how to work with your own rhythm in a consistent way that flows a lot more easily, that doesn't have so much stop and start energy where you have these bursts of inspiration and then these major downtimes, but you're going to notice a kind of consistent unfolding, and you may even be inspired to a particular plan or a new schedule or routine, not one that is like rigid in an overly rigid sense, but one that creates a structure that is aligned with your own internal rhythm and flow. So for example, maybe you notice that you have a certain amount of energy every day for particular things that you love doing creatively or for a particular project you're working on. I'm hearing don't fight the energetic resources that you have because your mind is telling you, oh, you're not doing enough. If you only do that much a day, you're not doing enough. Because what I'm getting is it's almost like the mind likes to jump in here and say, oh, if you only spend 15 or 20 minutes working on that project, that's not enough. But you may realize, well, I have about that much time a day that I really feel inspired, that I feel energized and motivated. And if the mind is telling you that's not enough time, you can end up being completely stagnant and not taking any kind of inspired action. But what I'm hearing is you are really learning to create structure or carve out the time for particular projects or goals or things that you're doing or creating that are important to you, but you're trusting in your own rhythm. You're trusting that you carry the blueprint for the success of this endeavor in your very soul, in your very cells. And so because this dream is unique to you, or this life or this vision is unique to you, these desires, what that means is the rhythm in which it will unfold is also unique to you, and it is handed to you through what feels good and aligned. So if you feel like you have a certain amount of energy or inspiration on certain days or at certain times that just works for you, trust it. Trust that there's a reason that you need to rest at certain times, or that you only have so much energy for certain things on certain days, and allow yourself to adhere more and honor that rhythm more internally. And I'm hearing you will notice this massive blossoming when it comes to the things that really are important for you, when it comes to your personal goals, dreams, and desires. So that was just a little message that wanted to make its way through at the end. I saw the number 3434 on the recording timers, so I'm going to take that as a sign to close this first reading out here. Now, of course, I will be continuing this reading in our extended version on Patreon and YouTube memberships. So if you want to join me there through either platform, the links to listen are in the pinned comment and description box. Otherwise, I am sending you so much love. Have a beautiful day, and I will connect with you here again in the next collective reading on Monday.